here on Practicing Guitar today. My name is Chris Botta, and we're going to look at a tune called Sitting on Top of the World. Very famous tune. Many people know it from the Howlin Wolf version or Cream, and then others still. Doc Watson is the big version that they play. The point of our discussion here is to understand how the tune works from the inside out. That means structure, rhythm. The goal of this, looking at this, is like, just let's say you go to a blues jam and people call this tune and you get to play it. That would be pretty amazing, actually, because a lot of times it leads to a train wreck. So one of the most important things you need to know is that it's a 9-bar blues. So that's a little bit unusual. Not too many 9-bar blues out there. But the thing is that it's based on an 8-bar blues, right? So it's 8-bar blues, but you add one more bar. The basic progression is like this. This is my underlying structural way of doing it. So I will get to that, why I do that, etc. in a minute. But first, let's take a quick look. The basic progression is 1, 1, 4, 4, 1, 5, then bar 7. It's kind of like a mystery bar. And then it goes into the turnaround, which most people notate as 1, 1. But it's really it's a real turnaround, so it's kind of more like 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 5. Okay, so that's kind of like this. Notice that I put in some extra chords or some different chords. Elaborating on what we just had, it goes 1, 1, 7, so you got, right, and then 1, 7. And then the next one, 4, 7. It's blues after all, right? And then 4, minor 7. Right? And then 1, 7. And then 5, 7. Okay, then comes the mystery bar, which is, for me, 4, 7, 5, 7. And then you go into your turnaround. 1, 1, 7, 4, 7, 4 minor 7, 1, 7, 5, 7. Okay? So that's the basic progression of the tune. I learned how to play the song mainly from Cream, and I don't even know how I really figured it out. I might have had a little bit of help from my guitar teacher. I had a great guitar teacher back then. Basically, what Cream does is during the mystery bar, bar 7, really important to remember, they put in this riff. That riff is really similar to what Howlin Wolf sings, okay? And what does the band play while Howlin Wolf sings? Well, what happens there is that Willie Dixon is playing this like unbelievably cool bass line, which I haven't figured out, but it is kind of jazzy. It's kind of all over the place. It is quite a bit sophisticated. So, point being that the melody that is being sung is really carrying the tune there. Okay, so I just want to let you know a little bit about how I came to think about all this stuff. So I had this idea that, okay, so the tune is a 9-bar blues, right? So automatically I'm thinking it's about the harmony, right? Well, the truth is it's not about the harmony, it's about the melody. It's not just the melody, but it's the rhythm of the melody, right? So, but I like to have a structural kind of thing to do, right? So I put my... If you listen to the song carefully, you'll see that the melody is arranged in a really specific way with these little like short bursts with some space, then a little short burst, then some space, a little short burst, so and so, on and on and on, right? You get to bar 7, all of a sudden the melody kicks into high gear, and it's very rhythmic. It has basically an accented syllable on every beat, except for the final downbeat where it's anticipated. So it's like, because I'm sitting on top of the world. Where did I get some of these ideas? Well, I read an article called The Common Stock of Schemes in Early Blues and Country Music by a music theory professor at Duke University named Nicholas Stoya. As it turns out, Sitting on Top of the World has a whole scheme to itself. The 12-bar blues is another scheme, and there are other schemes. There are 5 schemes and these basic sub-schemes and everything, right? So, Sitting on Top of the World, a whole scheme unto itself. It has a unique kind of structure. Okay, so another thing that was pointed out in this article is the mystery measure. So number 7, right? It's done in a million different ways. So, really good idea to go way back, right, to the earliest version that most people think about, which is by the Mississippi Sheiks. Mississippi Sheiks play it. They're a string band from Mississippi. They recorded their song in the late 20s. That's where Howlin Wolf, probably first heard it. Probably got his version from there. He's probably heard a million different versions. There are so many versions. Okay, so the thing about their version is during the mystery measure, they play this really cool thing. They go kind of like this. It'll be like, because I'm sitting on top of the world. Doesn't sound quite like that. Something more like that. You kind of only hear this B flat. Let's take a look at an acoustic version of the song in the style of the Mississippi Sheiks. Notice that the guitar is capoed at the 1st fret, putting the tune in the key of F, and that some of the measures are a little different with chords changing in the middle of the bar, but yet it still ends up as a 9-bar blues. Here we go. Interesting, right? Little string band version. All right, so that's the Mississippi Sheiks. Okay, so then we have Howlin Wolf. I think I told you, yes, the mystery measure is kind of all over the place, and with the bass, that's just really amazing. And you've got the... Okay, so Cream basically does it the same way. Howlin Wolf has the chords that I played, right? He uses the minor 7. So that's kind of where I got that from. I elaborate on that. To use a more current, sort of take, which is actually going back to the Mississippi Sheiks, I've seen a video of Jack White doing it, and he does it very much like in a string band style, solo acoustic guitar. When he gets to the mystery measure, what he plays is more or less like, instead of what I'm doing, he's doing like a kind of, so it's like 1-5-1. I talked about the inside out. Let's look at the outside. So what is the inside and what's the outside? All right, the inside is like structural harmony, melody, rhythm. The total basics, the structure of the tune. So we talked about that a lot. Okay, what's the outside? The outside is figuration, weird little slides, licks, and of course the licks and the melody. What we have in the tune, everything is just, the vocal melody is sailing along. You can put played by Hubert Sumlin, of course, on the Howlin Wolf version of the song. So, is a blues not a blues if it doesn't have its signature licks? Well, that version of it, if you want to play it like that, you've got to play those licks. Some people would play them on every verse. One of the things that I do, just to add something, is I have my own kind of turnaround that I like to do. Just seems to fit. Okay, here's a rendition of the song that has a bunch of things thrown in, but either way, it's always got the same background structure. That was really interesting for me. Anyway, I hope you learned something. Basically, my point here is that to really play a tune well, you have to know what's happening. You can't really know too much about structure, harmony, rhythm, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Chris Botta, and this is On Practicing Guitar. You can see more information about this video on my blog, which is, of course, also called On Practicing Guitar. And the URL is in the video, and thank you very much for joining us.